Namaste, my beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about the balancing of the crown chakra, right? How do we balance it? And first, I want to talk about some examples of what it looks like when our crown chakra is balanced, is in balance, right? We got a balanced energy flow to that center. So this is going to look like your spirituality and your physical both going great, and it's happening simultaneously, right? So with a balanced crown chakra, you can have the capacity to have a bunch of energy running through and computing through that crown, and can easily perceive more thoughts or trains of thoughts, and can stream more input and more stimuli, but in a very grounded and practical manner. So an easy example of this would be you're working at McDonald's, the drive-thru, and you can handle all of that sensory input, and you can also kind of just flow, boom, grab this, do this, make the frap, do this, and hand things out, take payments, take future orders, or other orders. You get what I'm saying? You're in flow, but you're able to be mind and body coherence, essentially. So definitely a sign of a balanced crown chakra. So you are also going to feel relaxed and unrushed, kind of like we were just talking about, right? And probably feel gratitude towards your abilities to multitask or stay calm in a chaotic situation. So you are also able to learn new things easily and transmute information into understanding and experiencing, then applying those concepts to your everyday life on a deeper, more practical level. You can take intellect and convert it into results. No problem. Master manifestors are people with balanced crowns for this reason, right? So someone with a balance to the crown will definitely care more about the quality of life and value making good decisions. They will see the beauty and the meaning and purpose in all things. They will have an appreciation for all things, even the seemingly negative things, right? So say that you're walking and you stub your toe, and that's seemingly negative, but if your crown is balanced, you're going to be like, oh, you know what, damn it, that really hurt, but I can have an appreciation for this moment because it's actually just teaching me to be a little more vigilant, or watch where I'm going, or blah blah blah, right? You kind of find a little lesson. You can find a little lesson in everything, so that's pretty cool. So similar to overactives, if you're balanced, you still might get bored with everyday routines, habits, or familiar places, and could potentially still live like a pretty nomadic lifestyle, but it's in a completely different vibration. It won't be stressful or out of necessity, like, I can't pay my bills, so I'm homeless. You just more or less just love like going to new places and experiencing new things, meeting new people. But if something in your life is calling for you to be consistent, or like kind of like routine about things in your life, to handle something or get things done, you can definitely do that with ease, no problem. So like, for example, if you hate routines, you hate doing the same mundane things over and over every day, but you still love exercising, you still want to exercise every day, that just looks like you doing different exercises or different modalities of exercise every single day. One day you might do yoga, one day you might do HIIT exercises, the next day you might do weightlifting. You get what I'm saying? You switch it up and you find ways to still be consistent through inconsistency, if that makes sense. So never too boring, never a dull moment. So another balance trait is having good observation skills without reacting, right? So you respond instead of reacting, and you know the difference, right? Responding to something instead of just that fight or flight kind of reaction. So that's definitely a good thing. Another trait of balance is that you recognize yourself in others and vice versa. Like, you realize the reflection in relationships and use the knowledge, to improve yourself and your relationship. So for example, if somebody triggers you and you're projecting, something onto them, that's a little bit of a clue to you about what you personally need to work on. So you are going to be like, why am I so triggered by this? Whoa, where is this coming from? I need to figure out what's going on with me. You're not going to be in victim mode. You're not a victim. You're not going to be like, oh, that person is doing this to me. That person is, you're not going to be victim mode at all. You're going to take responsibility for your actions. So you will most likely be also like viewing and experiencing everything as sacred, right? You might not be consciously aware of that, but you'll have the feeling or like belief of like everything happens for a reason. Even if I don't know or perceive of that reason right now. You just have a feeling, you trust the universe, right? You'll also be viewing people in a more like loving and humble and compassionate way. So for example, instead of looking at like an abuser as like a monster and having judgment of their actions, you might choose to have a more, you know, a little more empathy for them in their situation, for knowing that they are a victim of even worse abuse themselves, and they subconsciously took it out in those horrible ways of coping because basically that was the only way that was shown to them growing up. Does that make sense? So they may not even comprehend that that's like a coping mechanism of theirs. They just do it subconsciously. Observing these things can soften hearts a little bit, right? Like, you know, we're all here growing, we're all here learning, and we're all doing the best we can from the state of consciousness and the state of awareness that we have, essentially. So, you know, experience amounts to, basically, if your crown is balanced, you know that experience amounts to one state of consciousness, and not one person on the planet has all the same experiences. So you try to put yourself in the next person's shoes, basically, before you are judging them. So because of this view, you have a balanced crown, and it's not unusual to find yourself in a life of service to others, right? Doctor, nurse, law enforcement, therapist, you know, etc. Because you recognize that we're all one, basically, and you view humanity as an extension of yourself, maybe even subconsciously, right? You feel that interconnectedness, that oneness. Others will most likely perceive you as being wise, the wise one, pretty much somebody that everybody gravitates towards, like in a more humble way, though. Now, I want to go over some things that will help you balance the center. If you're overactive or underactive, doesn't matter. So you can seek out what inspires you, right? Spend time in silence, reflecting, question your current belief system, develop openness to everything and anything. So say you grew up extremely religious and there's a specific religion that is triggering to you. You're like, I can't believe that they would believe something like this. I implore you to dive into what about it is so triggering to you. Why? Why does that bother you so much that they have another opinion other than, you know, like other than yours, right? Why? And what specific aspects about that are triggering to you? Again, bring you into a lot of shadow work, into a lot of yourself, right? So another thing is going to be practicing appreciative notice. So train your brain to focus on the things that you have gratitude for, and do basically exercises that will help this process. Some examples, you could do the three proofs of abundance throughout your day. I learned this method, and I'm kind of actually coming into doing more of like a 3 feelings of abundance, you know, lately. And what I mean by this is you, throughout your day, take notice of 3 proofs of abundance in your life. Or if you're trying to manifest more love, train your brain to recognize proof or feelings within your body of love or abundance or whatever you're trying to call in, right? You can also affirm delusionally. This method works for some people. This method doesn't work for other people, you know, kind of like law of assumption type stuff, law of attraction type stuff. You can affirm, train your brain. That's another method. You can connect to a community or a group of people, participate in spiritual gatherings or events. They don't have to be like spiritual, so to speak, just connecting to people in general in whatever way, shape, or form. If you're at like a corporate job, this could present itself as, you know, you taking your boss up on that opportunity to attend a conference or a workers seminar or whatever. You go connect to other like-minded people, right? Fasting is also great for the crown chakra. Unlike the other chakras, it does not have a food that resonates, because simply put, food is too dense to resonate. Okay, so speaking of what resonates, you can use sound therapy. You can use binaural beats. You can play this on YouTube. You can play instruments, listen to instruments. You can do toning exercises. You can sing. You can take a singing class. You can do voice lessons. You can do crystal healing bowls, or the crystal singing bowls. I know Janae Aiko just came out with a really amazing line of crystal singing bowls. I hate to be like an advertiser, but yeah, I thought that was really awesome because she's pretty mainstream. So anyway, work on your empathic awareness as well, and improving the function of your nervous system so you can, you know, better handle and receive messages of information to that crown easily. And you may not be conscious of the process that you are constantly receiving messages, guidance, you know, or even just awesome awesome ideas from your higher self or whatever, right? We're constantly doing that. And you're going to be able to perceive it better. You're going to perceive of it in a more bold fashion when you are connected in like that. So you can also strategize, or, you know, or, how do I explain this? I think there's a word for it. I don't want to just be like staring at the sun. It's called sun gazing. You can also stargaze, or cloud watch, or, you know, just stare at the sky and feel the vastness, feel the connection to the cosmos, feel the oneness, and just the like weight, the gravity of like how complicated everything is, and how just perfect life is, and how it's a miracle to just be alive, right? Just sit there and contemplate a little bit. You know, another little trick I like to use, not only helps balance the crown, but it's an awesome manifestation technique too, is to get a statue or a picture or an actual physical representation of whatever inspires you or whatever you are manifesting. And this physically releases hormones and endorphins when you see it, because it's inspiring to you. Plus, it serves as a reminder to rein in and repetitively maintain that needed focus and inspiration. You know, repetition is the father of learning, you guys. And not only that, repetition and consistency is also the key to manifestation, paired with, of course, the physical action. Okay, so you can also utilize tools like, you know, clear crystals, essential oils, yoga poses, mudras, plant medicine ceremonies, guided meditations, or really any form of meditation or visualization exercises, breath work. You do breath work, you could listen to your breath and be aware of the tones it makes, like plug your ears, like while you're breathing, hearing your own structure and life force energy and life force flowing in and out of you guys. It is such a powerful method. So, let's see what else. You can also wear a bun. You can also wear a bun. I know it sounds silly, but it serves as kind of like an antenna of sorts. We find this in a ton of like religious and spiritual teachings throughout all of time. I swear, guys, like Google it, spirituality and bun, wearing a bun on your head. To stimulate the nerves on top of your head. You know, you can also use a hairbrush for this, or some kind of like head massage tool to stimulate the nerves on the top of your head, which also messes with your crown, obviously. So there's certain products that you can use. I also personally love Chakra Boosters by Vicky Howie. Definitely go look those up. They're like tattoos that you can put on different chakra points, and I found that they are surprisingly helpful, surprisingly useful. And even if you don't feel like they are physically shifting your body, which I did, they also serve as a really cool focal point or visualization point. Say you're trying to meditate on your chakras and helping align them or whatever. If you put those little semi-permanent tattoos, or not semi-permanent, no, they wash off, right? They're not permanent, I'm trying to say. But yeah, they're like a visual thing. You're like, okay, that's my root chakra. Okay, that's my heart chakra right there. So it's kind of cool. I recommend you check that out. Also, I want to give you one visualization before I go. I love this one. It's probably my favorite, and I've done a ton. Visualizing basically the top of your head being a sunroof, and the sunroof opening and having golden or white light just pour in. If you want to picture it's already there, like waiting, it's pouring over your head, and then you just open that, make the intention of opening up your crown and opening up that sunroof, and then it just pours in. You know what happens if you go to the car wash and you open your sunroof? It just pours in, right? So you guys, that is a powerful visualization technique. Or even if you're trying to just signal your energy field, signal guides, signal the ethers, and train your body to get into that mode, it's cool to have little signals like that to yourself. Or, you know, some people visualize lighting a candle, or, you know, putting out the candle when they're done with their visualization or opening their crown or whatever, right? Or some people flick on or on a light switch, or, you know, just to kind of get in that visualization. So that's all I got for you guys. This video is way longer than I thought it was going to be. This is actually the second time I recorded it, because the first time it deleted me, it glitched out, whatever. So I'm sitting here in my bathrobe, my wet hair, whatever. Gotta make it happen. Gotta put this video out there. Gotta move the energy along, you guys. Get her done, okay? Namaste.